Welcome back to the Classic Soap Operas podcast. Today, we're heading back to February 6th, 1985, for the next episode in the Recap Archive series of Days of Our Lives. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this material. We're diving deep into a classic daytime show episode from February 6, 1985.
Right.
So imagine you missed this episode entirely. Maybe you couldn't watch and you're asking us, what on earth happened in that town on that day?
That's exactly our mission today.
Yeah.
We're going to walk you through, the whirlwind of events, all the lives crossing paths, the unexpected turns, just everything packed into that single day.
Yeah, give you the rundown.
Exactly. We'll hit the highlights, give you the feel of it so you kind of feel like you were right there.
Yeah.
But, without getting totally lost.
The best gossip, all the juicy bits, without needing the daily commitment. And believe me, this particular day was pretty packed.
Oh, it really was. So we kick things off in a rather, uncomfortable spot.
Mm-hmm.
We find Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying, very politely, to turn down another drink, and probably more, from Leopold.
Ah, Leopold. Yeah, he sounds more interested in, mathematics in the bedroom?
That's the phrase. And, counting the minutes until he has her in his arms, not finishing the drinks they actually have.
He even suggests taking the drinks to the bedroom, doesn't he?
He does, but then there's this weirdly specific rule. No drinks in the bedroom.
Someone always spills, apparently.
That's the excuse, yeah. So Kimberly, she's clearly desperate here. She makes this really bold move.
What's that?
She just pretends they did make love while he was drunk. Just flat out lies to get him to leave.
Wow. Okay. That's a tactic. And Leopold, how does he react?
He's actually intrigued. He mentioned seeing her before with his compatriot, Sultan.
Sultan.
And then he drops this hint about an important ice show starting the next day. And something about, two main skaters and their coach arriving mysteriously from Siberia just 24 hours before.
Siberia, that sounds complicated.
Yeah.
And dramatic.
He says the whole mystery turns him on, which is...
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Kimberly finally manages to get him out the door. Her main goal, call Shane.
So the day starts with awkward advances and a side of international figure skating mystery. Got it.
Pretty much. Meanwhile, somewhere else in town, we meet Francine.
Okay.
She was actually looking for Madam X, but ends up talking to Tony.
And what's Francine's story this morning?
Well, let's just say she's having a major issue with her shoes.
Oh, the shoes, yes. Complaining they hurt.
Big time. Says she's not used to them, and she has to keep changing them for different outfits. It's a whole thing.
Huh. I've been there. So Tony offers her, a way out of the job?
Yeah, he does. But she's surprisingly committed. Feels this, strong responsibility to the company and to Tony himself. Says she actually likes to work.
Okay.
Although she does grumble a bit. Wishes she didn't have more work that specific day. Apparently, she has a bank appointment she can't miss. Keeping her away from Tony, it seems.
Interesting. Duty calls, even when your feet hurt. Okay, where do we go next?
We shift over to, a local spot, maybe a diner, a cafe. Things lighten up a tiny bit. First, just a quick mention of someone seeing Ivy around. Nothing major there.
Gotcha.
But then there's this hilarious story that comes up.
No.
About a customer.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
So this guy tries to return cookies, complaining they're awful, tasted bad, the whole 9 yards.
Uh-huh. Standard complaint.
Well, turns out they weren't cookies. They were dog biscuits.
No, seriously. Dog biscuits.
Yep. And the manager, totally caught off guard, just awkwardly gave the guy his money back. Can you imagine?
That is brilliant. Oh, man. Okay, so after the dog biscuit saga.
Right after that, Ivy actually shows up, but then she immediately gets a phone call from Gwen Davis.
Gwen Davis. Okay, that name sounds like it might mean trouble later.
Possibly. Ivy steps away to take the call, which gives Pete a chance to share something important with Nate.
Ah, Pete and Nate. What's the news?
It's a letter from Melissa.
Oh, good. Is she okay?
Sounds like she's doing great, actually.
Uh-huh.
The letter confirms she's in New York. It's exciting. She's making it on her own. Got a job dancing off-Broadway even.
Off-Broadway. Wow. That's fantastic for her.
Yeah, and she says she has money. She's rooming with 2 other girls. She specifically thanks Pete for the money he gave her, the money that got her there.
That's nice. She tells him not to worry.
Exactly. And Nate, being Nate, gives Pete some pretty blunt advice. Tells him to just go out and get what the hell you want.
Classic Nate. Just go for it.
Yeah, basically pushing Pete to pursue his own happiness, find things, and, people that make him happy. Nice moment of friendship there.
Good. But I have a feeling the drama isn't far away. You mentioned Ivy got a call from Gwen Davis.
You called it. While Pete and Nate were having their moment, Ivy was on the phone with Sandy talking about a pretty huge development.
What now?
The dry cleaner. He found Sandy's dad's medical bracelet.
The medical bracelet. Okay, that's big. The one related to Dr. Horton.
The very same. And Sandy says she's going straight to Mickey Horton about it. She even says this makes the lawsuit against Dr. Tom Horton official.
Wow. So she sees this as definite proof, or at least a huge piece of leverage.
Totally. She feels things are really looking up for her and Steve because of this. They actually decide they need to celebrate.
Celebrating finding evidence for a malpractice suit. Okay. But someone else must be worried sick about that bracelet, right?
Absolutely. The flip side of Sandy's excitement is intense worry. We see Lynn and her mother talking.
About the bracelet.
Yes.
Yeah.
They know the dry cleaner, Daly, still has it. And they're agonizing over the fact they need to tell the police. Tell Abe Carver before someone else does.
God, they must feel trapped. Their father, Dr. Horton, was just trying to help an injured man.
Exactly. And now, because they stopped to help, he's in this legal nightmare. Lynn's mother says something really heartbreaking.
What's that?
She reflects on how the injured man's kids. They probably only know their father died. They likely have no idea that Tom was there, trying desperately to save him.
Oh, that's rough. Puts a very different light on it. So what's their plan?
Their only thought is to try and prove Tom didn't do anything wrong. They decide they have to turn the bracelet over to Abe themselves, show they weren't hiding it.
Trying to get ahead of it. But knowing this show, timing is probably not on their side.
You nailed it. Because just as they're probably planning this, the storm hits. Gwen Davis. She walks right up to Mickey and Mrs. Horton.
Boy, here we go.
And she does not mince words. Straight up tells them she just came from the DA's office. And she has officially filed a malpractice lawsuit against Dr. Tom Horton on behalf of the Selichko children.
Oof. What are the grounds?
Negligence. And, crucially, a cover-up regarding that medical bracelet.
A cover-up. And she names her witness, I bet.
She does. Daly, the dry cleaner. She claims Daly says Dr. Horton has the bracelet.
But Lynn is right there, isn't she, with Mickey and Mrs. Horton?
Yes, and Lynn immediately confirms, yes, my father has it. But she insists they only found it 2 days ago and were literally on their way to give it to Abe.
Trying to defuse the cover-up accusation, saying they weren't hiding it.
Exactly. But Gwen, she's not buying it for a second. Calls it a little too convenient.
Ouch. Classic soap timing strikes again.
Totally. Gwen basically says, see you in court. Mickey fires back that the case won't get to court. The air's just thick with tension, accusations. It's intense.
Man. Okay, deep breath. Let's shift gears entirely. You mentioned Alex Marshall earlier.
Right. While all that legal drama is exploding, Alex is setting up something. Well, something pretty disturbing. It involves Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay, what's he doing?
He's brought this collection of, really fancy clothes, he calls them, Anna Demir Desires, to a hotel suite.
Anna Demir Desires. Sounds expensive.
Definitely high fashion. And he wants Jasmine to model these clothes for a, quote, very important client, a guy named Jean-Luc.
Just model clothes. Or is there more to it? Knowing Alex.
Your instinct is right. Alex is laying the pressure on super thick, tells Jasmine the entire deal hinges on you, says she needs to stretch her stuff and sell this guy the goods.
Sell the goods. That sounds ambiguous in a bad way.
Exactly. And he frames it all as being for the company, doing her part. But he also makes it explicitly for Tony, using her loyalty.
Ugh. That's manipulative. Does Jasmine suspect anything?
She's clearly hesitant. You can tell she senses something is off, something doesn't feel right. But that appeal to her loyalty to Tony, that's what gets her. She agrees to do it, but for Tony.
Oh, Jasmine. Walking right into something awful, I fear.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable setup, which leads directly to the next part of Alex's plan.
So Jasmine goes to the suite, meets Jean-Luc.
She does. Introduces herself. He immediately calls her exquisite. Seems very charmed, very pleased.
Okay. So far, so.
Right.
Creepy, but maybe just clothes.
Well, she starts modeling the clothes, and he seems happy with them. But then she asks, professionally, if he'd like to buy any of the clothing.
Yeah.
His response takes a really dark turn. He says he'd like to buy it all.
Okay. Maybe he really likes the fashion line.
That's what you heard. That's just the start of it. For buying her.
He was trying to buy her.
Yeah.
Alex set her up to be sold.
That's exactly what happened. Alex's horrifying plan is laid bare. Jasmine is, understandably, completely horrified. disgusted.
I bet. What does she do?
She leaves immediately, tells him off, basically, and makes it clear someone will hear about this. It goes from fashion modeling to attempted human trafficking in, like, seconds. Shocking.
Absolutely horrifying. Does she go straight to Tony?
Wastes no time.
Yeah.
She goes right back to Tony's place, and she's visibly shaken up, furious.
I can only imagine.
She tells Tony everything. Alex didn't just want her to model. He literally tried to sell her to Jean-Luc.
How does Tony react? Please tell me he goes ballistic.
Oh, protective fury is the perfect description. He reassures Jasmine first, tells her she did everything right, handled it perfectly, didn't let him down at all.
Good. She needed to hear that.
Definitely. And then he makes this really chilling promise. He says Sergeant Carver will take good care of Alex, and that Alex will pay for this.
Okay. So Alex's time is running out. Fast.
Seems like it. And speaking of Sergeant Carver, we actually see Abe Carver next.
Oh. Is he there to arrest Alex already?
Not quite yet. Abe is actually looking for Tony. He finds him while Tony's talking about Francine, randomly enough. And Abe. He drops an absolute bombshell.
Another one. This day is relentless. What is it?
Megan Hathaway. Remember her? The mayor?
Yeah.
Turns out she was Stefano DiMera's daughter.
Get out. Stefano's daughter? The mayor? Wow. Did Tony know?
Nope. He's genuinely surprised. Makes this comment like, you think you know everything about Stefano and then you find out you know nothing.
That's a massive connection. Does Abe say anything else about Stefano?
Confirms Stefano is terminally ill. Might even be dead already.
And Tony's reaction to that, I can't imagine it's grief.
Not even close. He has some really harsh words for Stefano, blames him for causing so much suffering, especially to Tony's own mother. No love lost there at all.
Understandable. Why is Abe telling Tony this now? Is he looking for Stefano?
Seems like it. Abe's trying to get any leads on Stefano's whereabouts from Tony, given their complicated history. But Tony insists he's already told the police everything he knows about the island, the compound in Caracas. Says he's got nothing more to add.
So even potentially dead, Stefano's legacy just keeps creating waves.
Absolutely. His shadow looms large. Meanwhile, that legal battle is still simmering. We find Gwen Davis at a bar.
Drowning her sorrows or strategizing?
Maybe a bit of both. She's talking to the bartender, Chris, about how tough this lawsuit against Tom Horton is emotionally.
Does she have doubts?
Not really. She admits it's hard, but she truly believes she's doing the right thing. Says she's relying on her witness daily.
What does Chris, the bartender, think?
He's clearly sympathetic to Tom Horton, expresses some skepticism about the whole lawsuit. But he does acknowledge Gwen's conviction, like he sees she believes in it.
Bartenders hear everything.
Pretty much. Then Chris gives her a heads up. Mickey Horton is on his way into the bar.
Ah, time for Gwen to make a quick exit.
Exactly. She leaves just as Mickey arrives.
Awkward timing avoided. What does Mickey want?
He's just frustrated, complaining to Chris that he doesn't understand Gwen at all. Chris basically tells him, look, she's just doing what she thinks is right.
Fair enough.
And then Chris does something interesting. He gives Mickey that letter from Melissa, the one addressed to Pete.
Oh, the letter Pete already read. Why give it to Mickey?
Chris just hopes it might somehow help them find Melissa. It's just another way these storylines kind of intersect unexpectedly, passing information along.
Gotcha. Okay, can we please have a break from lawsuits and Stefano's ghost and creepy businessmen? Any lightness in this day?
Yes. Finally. We cut to PJ and AJ.
Okay.
And they are having, wait for it, an indoor snowball fight with real snow.
Inside? How? Why? That sounds amazing.
No idea how they got the snow inside, but yeah. It's playful, escalating, leads to some wrestling, lots of laughter, and eventually a kiss.
Okay, that's much better.
They start reminiscing about having snowball fights and races when they were kids, which naturally leads to them agreeing to a rematch. First, a race back to his apartment, followed by another indoor snowball fight.
These two. So who wins the race?
We don't see the race, but later, at PJ's apartment, Shane, he must be Shane, right? AJ. Anyway, he's there, soaked.
So he probably won, or maybe lost spectacularly.
Could be either. PJ joins him, also dripping wet from round 2 of the indoor snow fight.
This is chaotic and adorable.
They're still playfully wrestling with snow inside. Finally agree they really need to get out of these wet clothes. Shane offers her a towel.
Oh, okay. Things calming down, maybe.
Sort of. They're drying off, sharing hot chocolate, and they end up sitting by the heater, watching a barge being unloaded outside the window.
Quiet moment.
Yeah, and they start talking about how they used to do that as kids, just watch the barges. That shared memory, the cozy setting. It shifts the mood.
Romance brewing.
Definitely. The scene turns romantic, and it leads to them making love. Really sweet, intimate end to their snowy, playful day.
Okay, that was a nice detour, but we still have Alex Marshall hanging out there, right? Tony made a promise.
Right. The net is definitely closing in. We briefly see Alex calling Tony, probably trying to smooth things over about the whole Jean-Luc disaster.
Does Tony play along?
Initially, yeah, for a second.
Huh.
But the call doesn't last long, because Alex decides to show up in person at Tony's.
Bad move, Alex.
Terrible move. Because who's there waiting for him?
Abe Carver.
Bingo. Alex tries to play it cool, act like it's just a social call. He even makes this awful joke about, like, a murder in the kitchen and refusing business to criminals. Just desperate deflection.
Oh, Abe's not buying that, surely.
Not for a second. Abe cuts him right off, tells him straight, you're under arrest.
For what, does he say?
Pimping and pandering. Direct result of the Jean-Luc incident.
Wow. Okay, Alex's reaction.
Total shock. He starts protesting, saying you can't, questioning the procedure, acting outraged.
Too little, too late.
Way too late. Abe just reads him his rights, proceeds with the arrest, and takes him away, despite all the protests. Swift and satisfying.
Justice of a sort for Jasmine. Okay. Is that the end of the day?
Almost. The episode wraps with this very brief, kind of random scene. Someone is waking up, maybe dozing off, and another person tells them it's getting late, they should go upstairs. A little mysterious, doesn't quite connect immediately.
Okay. Just a little loose end, maybe. So that was the day, February 6th, 1985. What a ride.
Seriously. Lawsuits filed, family secrets revealed, near misses with, well, human trafficking, arrests, unlikely romances blooming.
Yeah, stepping back from just the plot points, what does this whole day really show us? What's the takeaway?
Well, it's a masterclass in how quickly things can escalate or completely flip, isn't it? A simple act of trying to help someone leads directly to a devastating lawsuit.
Right. And a business meeting turns into something incredibly sinister. A fun snowball fight turns into, well, romance.
It really highlights the tangled web these characters are caught in. How past actions, like everything Stefano ever did, keep echoing and impacting the present in totally unexpected ways, like the Megan reveal.
Totally. And it makes you think about motivations, doesn't it? You've got loyalty driving Jasmine, maybe greed and desperation driving Alex, a sense of justice driving Gwen, protection driving Tony.
Exactly. And maybe just simple fun driving PJ and AJ, at least initially. All these forces just crashing into each other.
It really shows how appearances can be so deceiving. That important client meeting, the convenient timing of finding the bracelet, nothing is quite what it seems on the surface.
Yeah, this one day is like a snapshot of their whole world. The high stakes, the secrets always bubbling just below, the constant potential for disaster or connection.
So maybe here's a thought to leave everyone with after diving into all this. In a world like this one, where just one day shows us so much hidden manipulation, hidden history, hidden danger, how much do we ever really know about what's truly going on behind the scenes in our own lives, based only on what we can see?
Ooh, that's a good one. Makes you wonder what layers are hidden just out of view, doesn't it?
Definitely something to mull over.
That's a wrap for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like and comment for more episodes like this. Thanks for listening.